This story is going to match every single question that AQA have ever asked and ever will ask. Let's get into the story. The action takes place in a safari reserve. Let's call it South Africa, the Kruger National Park. There we have two park rangers in a jeep, one senior, one junior. Let's call them Montgomery the boss and Rommel the junior. Now, he has a rifle with a tranquilizer dart. Why are they there? Because there is a prize bull elephant. He's massive, he's heroic, and they need to tranquilize him so that they can export him to another part of the park where he's going to repopulate the elephant population, which are being poached. However, on must, which means on heat, which means ready to reproduce, is another elephant. The bull elephant, I'm going to call him Napoleon, and because I like a laugh, the woman of his dreams is called Josephine. Obviously, she's not a woman. She is a female elephant, and she's attracting a lot of interest from the younger elephants. But our Napoleon is the alpha. There's no way anyone else is going to get the action that he demands, because he is going to repopulate the savannah. However, Rommel fires. The tranquilizer dart hits its mark, and Napoleon staggers briefly, but then catches Josephine's scent and follows her, fighting off the other young males and pursuing her with desire. She, however, is not playing easy to get and starts running towards the river. Normally, Napoleon would see this as an exciting invitation, but today the drugs start to take effect, and just as he's following her across the river, he gets to its deepest portion and suddenly begins to pass out. Rommel is horrified. The prize elephant on which this national park depends to repopulate is going to drown. Without thinking, he charges into the river and reaches Rommel's trunk just as it is about to plunge underwater. He holds the trunk aloft above his head, his shoulders quivering with the effort, for 20 minutes, waiting for Rommel to recover. This gives him plenty of time to wonder, will he survive when Rommel awakes? And across the banks of the river, he notices crocodiles lining up hungrily, ready to tear him limb from limb as soon as Rommel leaves him. That is the drama of the story, and you can decide to end it however you want. I personally love the idea of Rommel picking him up as he wakes, lifting him with his trunk and tossing him. But we do not know whether it will be on the other side, the bank with no crocodiles, or towards the crocodiles. So that is the bare bones of the story. Let's adapt it to every past question. June 2017 was a tough one. You had to write a story about two people from different backgrounds or a description of people on a bus. Well, I'm not going to turn that into a bus if it's a safari park, but I do have two people. Now, I assumed when I started the story that they were from the same background, but now I'm going to make Rommel a new person who's out to impress. That's why he's going to take this mad risk of jumping in the river. And this is Montgomery, his boss, who's going to look at Rommel's probation period and decide whether or not he's going to be kept on. Now, I can tell exactly the same story. In November of 2017, I could write a description about a mountainous area or a story with the title Discovery. I don't want mountains, but what's the discovery? Well, it's what Rommel discovers about himself when he leaps in to save the elephant. This is a self-discovery which is crucial because it almost leads to his death, or if you want, you can actually kill him off. I wouldn't know, but discovery works. June 2018, it was easy. Write about something that turned out unexpectedly. Ta-da! November 2018, and the examiners would think, we've got you now, Mr. Salles. There's no way you're going to be able to write a science fiction story about time travel using our picture. But yes, there is. This is the concourse that leads to the time machine, and only the select few get to go back in time. Rommel gets to go back in time because he is going to go and save the last remaining bull elephant in the wild, Napoleon. And if he gets saved, the whole herd gets saved because he's going to be able to have heirs, and that's going to explain why he risks his life. Yes! June 2019, a story about a magical place, or a description about a place you think is beautiful. Well, I can turn this into a magical place if I want, like I did with the science fiction in a way, but I'm not going to. Instead, I'm going to go right in here. This is going to be my point of view, and Rommel is going to be looking out, and then there's going to be some awesome contrast because he's looking at a thing of beauty, the Kruger National Park. He's looking at this wildlife, which is fantastic, but then we're going to have obviously the contrast with the danger to his life, the predatory animals, and the memories he's got of how he's messed up here. Because I'm going into Rommel's memories, I'm not turning it necessarily into a story. The examiner's going to go, yeah, I'll accept that as a piece of awesome description. Spatula rules. In June 2019, you had to write a story with the title Abandoned. Hello, what does Rommel feel in the river? Abandoned by fate, by God, by his own common sense and brain. Easy marks. June 2020, a story about an event that cannot be explained. Well, we've got the point of view again. What does Rommel think about this? Once he's in the river facing death, then he's going to wonder, what on earth possessed me to enter into this event? I can't explain my instincts, and also I can't work out how to get away. It's just so easy when you're cooking with the spatula. November 2021. Write a story about a new beginning. Well, we got there in 2017 when we decided that Rommel is on his first day at the job and he's being supervised and assessed by Montgomery. Easy. The new beginning, the contrast with all his hopes to the potential disaster. June 2022. Wait for it. Write a story about a life-saving rescue. Oh, the gods of AQA. Cooking up aplenty. Cooking up another awesome story question. November 2022. Write a story about an unlikely friendship. Well, the easy route would be to create a friendship here, but it's not necessarily that unlikely. However, what if I make the relationship between Rommel and Napoleon? Perhaps Rommel isn't on his first day, he's many years into the job and he's been tracking Napoleon, befriending him, gaining his confidence, learning how he operates within the herd in order to increase the chances of preserving elephants in the wild. Yes, now I've got the way in, and I've also got some marvellous inner dialogue going on in his mind here. Will Napoleon wake up and notice that it is Rommel who has saved him and express his gratitude? Or is the friendship between man and beast not that strong? Will instinct take over and will Rommel be murdered? specimen paper. Write a story about a place that has been affected by the weather, and it's only part of a story. Well, where's my weather here? I can introduce a drought. Maybe the drought has meant that the river has shrunk, and so all the predators have come to the part of the river that is still deep enough to sustain life. Or I can change the weather conditions. The river might have been perfect, but just as the dart was fired, a thunderstorm comes, winds come, and this is what makes the river so treacherous. Weather, of course, also gives you the opportunity for pathetic fallacy. So the weather can start to reflect Rommel's emotions as he's in the water. If you fancy this approach, it is quite exhilarating. Remember, you don't have to use the story if you can't do what I've just done and adapt it to the exam, but you can. Is it plagiarism? 100% guaranteed no. I haven't written the story for you, and you're not copying it out word for word, are you? You can smash the exam with this story, even if every other student in the country watches the same video and writes the same story, you still win, and so will everybody else. This story and 20 more come from my Stories Idea Guide, which you can get for free on Amazon right now by clicking on the link in the description. I've just updated it to make it even better and more useful. What's the examiner looking for in your writing? Well, that is the video coming up now.